In this video, we're going to take a look at how to associate and calibrate an LMI 2-for-1 wireless flush gap gauge using LMI's wireless utility software and a MicroRidge Mobile Collect USB base. So before we begin, we need to make sure that our USB base is plugged into an available COM port on the PC and our gauge is in setup mode. In order to put the gauge in setup mode, we're simply going to push and hold down on the transmit button for about 4 seconds until the green LED begins to flash. We can then open up the software and click on the Find Base Unit button. And if we take a look at the base, we should notice that the green LED in the lower right hand corner begins to flash as well. We then push the transmit button on the gauge one more time, which switches over to the Wireless Gauge Information tab. Now the first pop-up we see here says that it's not associated. So in order to associate it, we're going to click on the Associate Gauge button down here and wait for this green bar to make it all the way to the bottom of the window, or across the bottom of the window. We'll click on OK, and now we'll push and release the button on the gauge itself. Now, when we do this, we should notice that the red text here becomes green, and that the first line of the grid becomes populated with information that is specific to this gauge. So now that it's associated, we can go ahead and open up the Edit Gauges window by double-clicking on the 2-for-1 underneath the Gauge Model column. Once I'm inside the Edit Gauges window, the calibration for both the flush and the gap are done at the same time. So when I click on the cal low for the flush, the cal low for the gap is selected with it. To take this, I simply click on the sample button, because I have both the flush tip and the gap peg extended. And then it will advance to cal high, and then I will retract both the tip and the gap peg for this measurement. And then for the cal master, I'm going to bring in my mastering block. And my mastering block probably looks different than yours, but they function all the same. And I'm going to click on sample one last time. Now when I do this, you'll see that the flush and the gap both become zeroed out, and I'm ready to update the gauge. Click on this, close out the window there, and then now I want to click on the X up here in the corner, and when I do this, I should notice that the 2-for-1 begins to flash red, which indicates that the unit is shutting itself off and it's saving the calibration that we just did. With that said and done, I'm ready to go out and take measurements now.